Space Coconut.
Okay, this is important for me to talk about as a business person and as a person whose primary form of entertainment is Dead by Daylight. There are many arguments that people have used on the forums and in various YouTube videos to justify accepting the Battle Pass possibility and trying to downplay the feelings and concerns of people like myself who see the greater implications of this system being implemented in Dead by Daylight. They talk about how it's only a small amount of money, or that the items are just cosmetic, that there's a free option, it's not pay to win, we're not forced to buy the pass, and we should be thankful that the devs are implementing or creating or putting into the game more content and more things to do, like the events and all of that stuff that we've been asking for years. All of that might be completely true, but the problem with this system in our game is that it creates a negative psychological impact on players called FOMO, or the fear of missing out. It's this psychological anxiety disorder that this system deliberately creates and is designed to exploit. It also shows that the devs don't think of their player base as people they want to entertain, but wallets they can squeeze for more cash. I mean, if we want to support the devs, we already have a cosmetics shop, don't we? People have spent, however much money that they have spent on cosmetics. Why does Dead by Daylight need a battle pass? This psychological manipulation is what forces some people to buy the pass even though they don't want to. People like myself. Sure, I can choose not to pay for the battle pass and go the free route, but in the leaked video we can see that the quantity and the quality of free rewards compared to the paid ones are very sparse. And I, as a person, currently feel this anxiety just thinking about not buying the paid version to uphold my personal beliefs. Streamers and content creators who play this game will feel obligated to buy the pass in order to stay relevant with their audiences. I've had a very hard time not purchasing hag skins when they come out, since this channel is directed towards hag mains. I personally haven't purchased many skins for Dead by Daylight because I feel they're overpriced and am currently working to earn the newest hag skin. Unfortunately, the speed at which shards are earned are deliberately set to a snail's pace, which is another tactic that some companies will utilize to drive players into the store. Thankfully, skins don't make the channel run, but let's be honest, I need to make better content anyway. It's this psychological manipulation driven by corporate greed that is the driving force behind the disdain towards battle passes. In the greater YouTube gaming scene, content creators such as Layman Gaming, Yong Ya, Upper Echelon, and Jim Sterling have covered the issue with predatory microtransactions in much greater detail. The Fog Whisperers will probably obtain the pass for free as a method of actively advertising and inundating their viewers with FOMO in order to further drive sales of the pass to more players. They already do this with the cosmetics store, but with the Battle Pass's predatory design, the effect becomes more deliberate. The Battle Pass system is also designed in such a way to drive a player to play the game more than they normally would in order to complete the challenges in a pass. Failing to do so in the allotted time forfeits the remaining rewards for that season, which means that someone paying for the Battle Pass isn't guaranteed to obtain all the rewards if they have limited playtime, as most adults with traditional jobs do. Hell, even the devs in charge of balance for Dead by Daylight can barely play enough to gain a basic understanding of the game in order to see where the real balance problems are. But that's a topic for another video. When one Battle Pass season ends, the next will begin, starting the process all over again, turning a currently pay-to-play game into what amounts to a subscription-based game that creates and takes advantage of a specific psychological anxiety disorder within their player base. If it ends up coinciding with our current rank reset schedule, I don't think I play Dead by Daylight enough to complete the challenges in the given time that would be allotted, at least enough to get through the challenges to be able to play regular matches. With all of this in mind, it can also be argued that these systems will take advantage of younger players with more time available to them, and who likes companies that take advantage of their younger audiences? Fortnite and other games with similar systems prove that these systems are very lucrative. But the bills going through various governments in regards to loot boxes and predatory microtransaction models show that many people think these systems aren't consumer-friendly, especially if younger audiences have access to the game, whether by design or by the younger audience ignoring the mature rating of a game, say like Dead by Daylight. In a free-to-play game like Fortnite, it's expected that the game will utilize some form of microtransactions to keep the lights on. But if we compare Fortnite's amount of polish, stability, balance, and its free-to-play cost of entry to Dead by Daylight's polish, stability, balance, and the cost of entry, you can tell that they have a pretty large disparity. Behaviour is Canada's largest indie game developer with an estimated annual revenue of $37.5 million, according to ZoomInfo. This is enough money to create a new game stylized after Dead by Daylight, watch it fail, and then completely reimagine it to be re-released at a lower price tag, as well as employ other developers in charge of other projects not as successful as Dead by Daylight. Unfortunately for us, this success hasn't exactly translated to a better game experience. Jim Sterling said this in a video about battle passes.
PUBG's whole monetization model has grown increasingly sleazy and pathetically desperate. The microtransactions appear to be PUBG's primary focus, since it sure as shit doesn't get its bugs fixed while ever more skins and crates are shoveled in.
Sound familiar? Alternatives to the Battle Pass would entail a greater investment on the devs' part to take a hard look at the balance and core issues of the game and manage to fix it. Long-standing issues with the grind make the barrier to entry harder on new players, which could be fixed with a revamp of the blood web and perk system they have in place. Someone mentioned this issue in a Reddit post, and Hybrid Panda covered it after I'd written this script. So let's take a look at what he says and how he disregards the core concern that this poster brought up.
Yay! How toxic could this be? So the top comment here, how about they fix this stupid fucking grind before they do a stupid battle pass? Now there's probably gonna be a few comments with the same sort of sentiment, and these are the kind of people who don't actually realize that there are different departments inside a company. These are the same people that say, oh, why the hell are they releasing a new cosmetic set when hitboxes are still broken?
Cosmetics are plugged into a battle pass. The people who created the battle pass aren't the cosmetics people.
Or why are they adding a new killer when optimization is not where it is? And these people don't seem to realize that companies hire different people with different backgrounds and different specialities to work on different things.
Like someone could be hired to create a system to revamp the blood web grind, and instead they're hired to create the battle pass grind. The cosmetics people argument is a smokescreen. The design people responsible for the blood web could likely be the same people who created the battle pass system, since they're functionally the same. This means that instead of calling for a redesign to the grind, which everyone can admit is a problem, the leadership has called for a battle pass in a quest for more money. Then we have the actual gameplay issues that have been around for the longest time. Camping, looping, various bugs and audio issues. The turnaround for those fixes and deliberate balance changes that makes the majority of dedicated players wonder what they're thinking with the changes they make.
This is so ridiculous, but what makes this worse is this isn't a bug as part of patch notes. This is intended as balance. This isn't balance. What the fuck are they thinking?
Broken ranking and leveling systems with no rewards and weak killers deliberately designed to be weak. New killers with powers that don't really do much to shake up the game. And now we're finally getting additional content and activities that we've always asked for, and they come with a price tag. Imagine only being able to participate in the Hallowed Blight if you had to pay for it first. You're not forced to, but you can watch everyone else participate and suffer through the psychological anxiety of FOMO. Dead by Daylight can survive without a battle pass system. It has for 3 years. It can draw players in with excellent gameplay and keep them playing with the gameplay experience they've promised. But it seems they'll choose not to improve the core of the game and opt to use psychological trickery to gain player loyalty through free-to-play monetization schemes. The battle passes are probably coming. The money is too good to ignore, and they've shown their love for the player base through their overpriced cosmetics. I like what Jim Sterling said in his video.
So that's a battle pass, essentially a couple month subscription to an ongoing sense of pride and accomplishment. Still, now that Fortnite's battle pass has proven a winning formula, the time has come for other companies to circle and suck the blood from it like so many swollen ticks. Unfortunately, other companies are already taking the piss with it, demonstrating that you can't have nice things or even just tolerable things in the game industry for very long. Not before the locusts swarm and strip it bare.
I wish I were that eloquent, but it would seem that behavior is following the money instead of making the game better for players. They have shown fairness through the speed at which various cosmetics can be earned through gameplay. They have shown competence through their balancing and design decisions. We've stuck with them through all of that, and still too many of us will stick with them even if these passes get implemented. In the end, since the Battle Pass is probably inevitable, I can only hope that the challenges can be completed by one side to go through the various tiers, or that there's a way to skip over content I don't want. I know I'm a fringe player who doesn't play one side at all, but the appearance of the Battle Pass example shows that one pass would unlock content for both sides. For a player like myself, this creates a unique problem with the challenges and unlocks. It's possible that I would have to slog through challenges that I don't enjoy for unlockables that I don't want in order to reach unlocks that I do want. Also, all of the Survivor cosmetics unlocked would go unused and worthless to me. Remember the Hallowed Blight and how well it worked out that all players had to play both sides in order to get the most out of the event? If I recall correctly, they ended up changing it so players could complete the challenges with one side so they weren't forced to play with both. Hopefully, they remember this lesson with the challenges proposed in the Battle Pass. Additionally, during events in the past, a few players wouldn't be playing the game as normal, and would create a negative gameplay experience for the players who might not have been interested in the event, but were forced to endure playing with the other players who were. In the end, I would be paying for something I don't want, to access new content, to grind through things for survivors I have no interest in, to get to the killer things that I am interested in. Not through force, of course, but through the psychological manipulation of the feeling of missing out. Of course, there are those people who will disregard my opinion about battle passes for various reasons, but for myself and my own graphic design business, I know that I would rather try to gain clients through the quality of my work and ideas, rather than resorting to various psychologically manipulative salesman tactics. Nothing will change whatever they have planned, and if the battle passes are actually implemented, they won't be removed even if players unite to boycott the changes. I know this is just a business decision, but it feels like I'm being taken advantage of. I enjoy the game very much, and I'll be missing out on quite a bit of content if I don't pay for it. The skins are quite different than added challenges with rewards. The holiday events are things that I look forward to very much. Earning the Huntress's Hound Mask, even through the flashlight and palette changes at that time, makes it one of my favorite achievements. If it was locked behind a paywall, it would diminish the value of that achievement. Obviously, I could go on about this for days. But hey, maybe it's just an internal test, and it wasn't meant to be seen by us until their tests showed whether it was a good or bad idea to implement in the game. And maybe it won't actually be implemented after this noise. Yeah, that's totally it. Totally. So what are your thoughts on this? Good or bad, agree, disagree? Let's have a conversation about it, because this is something that, is going to impact the channel. It really will. I may or may not purchase it, and my own personal values might have me not play. I do not know. But my fiance will probably make me play still, because she'll probably buy the battle pass for me. She's younger, and she'd probably tell me to suck it up. Which, in the end, maybe I should. But it doesn't make it right. Does not make it right. But I guess we'll see. Until then, I'll see you in the fog.